Welcome to the Talk Spot. This is Marcus, and today I'm joined by Jerry Messing, who's also known as the Fedora Guy meme. Jerry, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Perfect. Well, yeah, tell us a little bit about your background and the birth of the meme and kind of just when you heard about it and everything like that.
Well, my background is I'm an actor. It's something I've always loved doing. I hope to get back into it one day. The way the meme ultimately got started, in a sense, is a long story that requires a bit of backtracking. So back when I was 17, I made one of the only decisions I've ever made from fear. And for those listening, never make a decision from fear. It will never turn out well. I got scared of not having a steady paycheck. So the idea was I was going to leave acting and pursue a degree in psychology. And for that, I was going to move to Florida, attend FIU, which is Florida International University, which had an excellent program, and I was going to go from there. So used the savings I had at that point to move, and had a lot of trouble getting into college. Couldn't find any real grants for myself or scholarships, and I was not about to do loans because, well, as anyone who has taken student loans out listening would know, that's just a miserable way to go. So couldn't really get my foot in the door. Started looking for work. Anyway, long story about that going short. I ended up having to move back to California. And it took a while to reestablish myself, get comfortable again. But once I did, I said, all right, I need to go back into acting. And for that, I'm going to need new headshots. So I'm getting the headshots taken, and when you go for these, you're supposed to bring what you think are good articles of clothing, what can be considered costume pieces, things that'll make your photo stand out. This is where the hat actually comes into an extent, because that was one of the things I brought along. Now, it was never used for any of the chosen photos, but towards the end of the film roll, I'm like, well, we've gotten the shots we want, and there's something I've always kind of wanted to do. I love the Blues Brothers. I wanted to try my best to pay homage to it. So I didn't have a suit, but I had the black button-up shirt, and donned the hat, did the pose. I guess 6 months to a year after that, it found its way onto the internet. And it took me 2 years after that to find out I was a meme. One of my friends stumbled across it. And, did you know you're a meme? Like, what? They showed it to me, and it's like, oh, well, that's now a thing.
Because what year did you discover it? Do you remember? Was that like 2015 or was it later than that?
It was about, when did the meme first become a thing? Because it was about 2 years after its creation.
Yeah, let me look it up real quick when the meme, because I know I've personally been aware of it for like a couple years at least.
I know it was definitely sooner than 2015.
I mean, I guess on this Know Your Meme website, it was saying that the phrase started getting used in April of 2012, started spreading in March 2013. So I guess by 2013, it was already out there.
Yeah, and from what I understand, it didn't start with the picture, so that would make sense.
Wow.
I just kind of became the poster boy.
So I mean, when you're living your daily life, I mean, do people Do they bring it up to you? Like, let's say you're at Target or something, you're checking out. Do people ever mention anything to you, or yeah, what is that like?
It has been brought up maybe 2 times to me. It does not really have anything to do with my daily life. If people recognize me from it, they probably just avoid bringing it up, I'm guessing. The only frustration I actually end up getting from it is that I seem to be more recognized now for the meme than for my actual body of work half the time.
Well, because I mean, I looked up a little bit of your acting credits. So you were on the Addams Family, and you were also on Freaks and Geeks, right?
Yeah, well, Addams Family Reunion, to be fair.
Okay. Well, I guess one thing I want to ask about the meme is that do you feel... I mean, what kind of connotations do you feel like the meme has, like in general society?
Until recently, nothing positive.
Okay.
But it was also something that it was kind of pointless to get upset over because, what am I going to be doing? Shaking my fist at the sky going, curse you, internet.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I mean, you're right. I mean, what are you going to do if somebody on Reddit or 4chan or one of these websites, I mean, if they say something or if they use the meme or if they're, if they have certain text related to it, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, you can't really clamp down on them or, it's kind of is what it is, it seems like.
It really is. And, if I'm speaking honestly, I've actually made some good friends because of the meme.
Oh, really?
I know that sounds really weird, but, there have been people who have found my Facebook and friended me looking to make fun of me and go, oh, this is who you are. You are just like that picture, what it represents. And it's like, wow, no, you're a decent guy. Can we actually be friends? Yeah. It's letting people get to know me is the best way I feel to dispel the misconceptions that have come to be about me.
Well, I mean, again, just at least the things that I've seen a lot of is that, the meme that, the Fedora Guy meme is definitely kind of connected to, they call it white knights, right? And
yeah, I've heard the phrase and I've looked it up.
Yeah.
And it's very unfortunate that any person would feel that they are privileged to intimacy just because they are nice. As far as, you are supposed to be kind for the sake of being kind because it is the right thing to do, not because you're going to get something for it.
Yeah, it's interesting that you raised that point in that, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, there's that kind of, I guess there sometimes is that thought or belief that if someone's the quote nice guy, that means that they should get something out of it. Or, this whole concept of, nice guys finish last. Well, I think sometimes too, there'll be some people that view themselves as nice guys or they're the guys that are, always willing to kind of bend over backwards for girls or to try to get a girl and to be a girl's friend and kind of infiltrate or begin a relationship with a girl through being friends with her and bending over backwards or whatnot. But like you said, I mean, if it's all for the ulterior motive of, getting with that girl, then, I mean, are they actually, quote, nice guys? Or are they any different than a person that doesn't do that, that's just more direct?
Yeah, it's manipulation any way you look at it.
It's funny that you say that because, like, I mean, I've seen the meme so often say stuff like, my lady or me lady or whatever, and it's like, yeah, that whole persona of like, like, oh my gosh, like, I'm, kind of almost being a martyr, like, oh, I'm the friend that my girl that's a friend of mine she always talks to me about the guys in her life that are being mean to her, but then why doesn't she get with me? It's interesting to actually hear because I think a lot of people that use the meme, they totally have a misconception about like how you actually think.
Which, like I said, the best way to dispel that is to let people get to know who I am.
Do you feel like since the meme has been out there, has that helped or hurt at all with trying to find other acting jobs? Or have you really looked for other acting jobs since the meme blew up?
I have done a music video as a favor for a friend or an acquaintance, really. The person who took the headshots wanted me to be part of this music video, and that's about the extent of what I've been able to do so far, because I am considered currently uninsurable because of my weight. And it's something I've been working very hard with, just not really having the success. I'm actually meeting with, finally, a nutritionist at the end of this month to try and figure out what diet, what program can actually work for me. Because as some of the listeners may know, as I've posted on Facebook, I am currently on disability for emotional reasons, mainly anxiety. And I know some people are thinking, well, if you're so anxious, why would you want to go into acting? Because I do not feel stage fright. Acting has been one of the most comfortable things for me. And so when you have trouble getting out and socializing from anxiety, you start putting the weight on, just as, a domino effect, if you will.
Well, do you feel like did the meme contribute at all to your anxiety, or do you think it was pretty, like, its impact was pretty negligible? Oh my gosh, I can't even say
it was negligible.
It was negligible?
Negligible, yeah.
Okay.
My anxiety stemmed from other reasons, which are myriad and not really worth getting into the details of at the moment.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so I mean, did you end up, like, are you married or anything like that?
No, I'm very much single.
Okay.
Not for lack of trying, but it comes down to when you're pretty much regulated to using the internet as your means of trying to find someone to date. Of course, a lot of them will recognize me for the meme, and that's an instant shutdown. And it's a difficult process. No one ever said, the dating life was easy. So
that's true. Well, sometimes too. I mean, people that are in relationships, sometimes it's even harder, more complex than being single. So,
I can definitely agree with that. I haven't always been single, but we won't go into that relationship.
No, I get you. No, I mean, I think, everyone's kind of had at least one of those relationships where you're like, oh my gosh, like, I could bang my head against the wall and in lieu of being with that person. But I guess one thing I wanted to ask for the acting is, like, what kind of genre, or, like, what would you like to act in? Like, if you were gonna, like, let's say you were gonna go to an audition now, like, what would be some of the types of roles that you'd actually want to go for? Like, would
Honestly,
it be like drama or comedy, or?
I don't have a specific genre I want to go for. I just want to know that I have entertained, that I have made people feel, that I have made an impact of some sort. I consider one of the greatest, if not the greatest actor alive today to be Jack Nicholson.
Okay. Yeah, that you can definitely make an argument for him.
Yeah, and it has always been my dream goal to either be recognized as his equal or as someone who surpassed his talents. That is what I think of every time I perform. It's like, how can I do my best? And I find ultimately I am doing my best work when I can find a connection with the character. People have asked me, well, how were you able to play Gordon Crisp? It's like, well, I looked over the lines. It's like, okay, the character is like this. What do I see of myself in this character? What bond can I form?
I mean, in that case, like, would you want to end up moving back to like LA area to try to like go back on auditions?
Probably not, because the acting industry itself is spread out all over. There is now a lot of casting being done in the Georgia area, which is not that far from me. And honestly, I don't like living in California anymore.
No, I mean that's a very fair point. Like, you know, the last 2 days I've driven to the valley, or the San Fernando Valley, back to back days, and oh my gosh, every time I'm out there, I just I'm not a big fan of it. Just everything about it. I'm not a big fan. And, you know, the deeper you go into Los Angeles, or, you know, you're on the 405, or you're in LA, and it's just, for me personally, I'm not a big fan. I live on the outskirts of Los Angeles, and I definitely prefer it that way. But, you know, in your position, you know, living out of California, I mean, I could see why a lot of people that I know, or people that I at least kind of know, you know, they talk about leaving the state all the time. That's a very common sentiment. So, yeah, I totally get the points that you're raising.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I wish I could say it was just the expense of living in the state, but there's just, you know, the air.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to be able to breathe.
Yeah, I mean, literally, like, I mean, Los Angeles, it's getting so bad that, I mean, they are saying it has some of the worst air quality in all of America, or I think it does. It's either number 1 or number 2 worst air quality city in the country.
And, you know, they talk about rush hour out here and how bad traffic can be. And I just feel like saying, oh, that's adorable.
No, I mean, literally, I mean, if anybody thinks that rush hour out here is just, it's remarkably horrible. It's so bad that...
Well, it's always rush hour now. It's like there's this one window of time from 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. where there's minimal traffic.
On a lot of freeways, they have all the construction work happening. So it's like, yeah, even though you're right that there's no rush hour that late at night, 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., but they have all this like construction work happening. So it's like, okay, well, now it's not rush hour in the sense that there's all these cars, but there's just traffic because of construction. But I guess another thing I wanted to ask you was, have you ever talked to the person that like actually created the meme? Like, how did they find that image? Like when you took the photo initially, I mean, did you post it like on a website, or like how did it go from?
It was briefly put up on my IMDb page.
Okay.
Without really my knowledge, my mother of all people thought, "Oh, this is such a cute picture. We'll put it up on IMDb."
Oh, so it's your mom's doing.
Well, no, she didn't create the meme, obviously, but she's the one who put it on the internet. And
so how did somebody? So your mom puts it on your profile on IMDb. How was it found? Like, how did somebody what made them stumble across your profile and think, I can turn this photo into a meme?
That I have no idea. Because
I
don't think anyone seems to know who actually started the meme. And if they do, no one has come forward to say anything.
Because, I mean, literally on IMDb, I mean, there has to be like over 100,000 people that have acting credits, right? So, I mean, you have people that have all these. I mean, to find an image of a person, I mean, it's not like it's not like it's the easiest thing on the planet. I mean, to me, it seems really interesting that like basically someone was digging around essentially on IMDb and somehow they came across the photo of you, and then they just, I mean, yeah, it's a really interesting thing. Like, honestly, try to think about the origin of it all.
Yeah, it's one of those, mystery things where I don't think we're ever really going to find the answer.
if your likeness could be used for another meme, let's say a meme as big as the Fedora Guy, what would you like that meme to be? Like, let's say this time if you had to choose, what would you want the meme to stand for, and kind of like what would you like it to communicate to people?
If I was ever to become another meme, it would be one that I hope was just used for the purposes of making people laugh and feel good and not at the expense of others.
Because do you feel like when people see your meme now, I mean, do you kind of feel like the meme is denigrating to people or even denigrating to yourself?
I feel it's more denigrating to others than myself. I may be the face of it, but I'm not who's being targeted specifically.
And I mean, I know we talked about this earlier, is the pretend nice guys, but I mean, a part of the meme that it really also goes after are guys that, a lot of it are guys that are, maybe they struggle with like the way that they look or whatever, they struggle getting girls. And it's kind of like the meme is kind of used to like even bring those people down even more. Like people that are already, they're already self-conscious and some of them already have low self-worth. So it's like this meme is even greater ammunition to be like, oh yeah, like you're still a piece of crap. Just, don't forget it, kind of.
Yeah, which, bullying of any sort is just, it's not cool. It's not. People have always told me through life when I was a child, oh, when you're an adult, you'll not be dealing with that anymore. And unfortunately, that's bunk because, I have found that if someone wants to bully you, it doesn't matter the age. They just find different things to be mean about.
Wow. All right. Well, definitely. Yeah, Jerry, thank you. Yeah, thank you again so much for coming on, man. I mean, are there ways that we can like follow you online or kind of just see kind of what you're up to or thoughts that you have? Would you mind sharing that information, or is there really a way for us to keep up with you?
Yeah, you know what? There's my Facebook, which I try to weed out the fake profiles, but as long as I feel the profile is real, I'll accept the friend request. I am more than willing to talk to people on there. I'm still trying to work out what I want to do by way of maybe YouTube or something. The podcast idea, which has been brought up, has basically fallen through, unfortunately. Facebook is what I have right now. And I don't post there often, but I'm getting better at that. And you know what? There is one thing I want to say that, because some people have asked me if there is any humor I have found in the meme. And there is one take on it that I have found to be humorous because I don't know who it could possibly, be used against. It's just funny to me, and that is Malaysia.
Wait, what do you mean?
Instead of it saying Milady, it says Malaysia.
Oh, I kind of like that.
Yeah, and pieces of my picture are put into a map of Malaysia. So
I kind of like that. Wow, that is clever, and I like that. That's like that's like second generation meme level, Like they took a meme and then they made kind of like a meme of a meme. I like that.
Yeah, that one was funny.
All right, Jerry. Well, definitely, yeah, man. Let me, keep me updated on your podcast. Like, I mean, hopefully, maybe one day we'll get started and something like that. I mean, I'd love to talk to you more about it, or maybe even come on or something. Or I'd love to have you on this show again, and we can talk about another topic. And definitely, yeah, you were very responsive. I mean, I watched a video about you on YouTube. I can't remember the name of the guy's channel, but it's kind of a larger channel. Like he has at least a couple 100,000 subscribers. And
yeah, it was linked to me no less than 5 times. Like, have you seen this?
Yeah. And the guy did the video about you, and I was like, okay. And then he said the name, and I was like, all right, let me go check you out. And then, yeah, you accepted the friend request, and then I asked you to come on, and you're definitely, I mean, I'm very thankful that, you're able to spend the time with me today and kind of talk about this. But, yeah, and, that guy that did the video, about you. He's kind of done a series of videos about other people that are, not only memes, but, just people where it's like, oh, I wonder what happened to that guy. In a sense, he's done some of those, and I've enjoyed those. And with his about yours, I was like, oh, like this is interesting. And I thought, oh, I kind of want to talk to this guy for myself.
Well, thank you.
So, all right, Jerry. Well,
So
definitely.
you know what? Mind if I give one plug real quick?
Of course.
Okay, so people have asked a number of times, why I didn't mention who took the photo. And you know what? That should be corrected. The photographer is Michael Roud Photography, and he does excellent work. If anyone else listening is an aspiring actor or model or what have you, and you live in the LA area, look him up. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll be happy that you did a shout out for me. That's really cool. All right, Jerry. Well, definitely thank you again so much, man. Have a good rest of your night, and hopefully we'll talk soon.
Yes, I look forward to it. Have a good one.